your 24/7 salesperson, not AI. Now, hint, this is aided by AI. It's assisted by AI, but it's not AI. Now, if you don't do this as a business owner, you'll be losing out on 70% of your new revenue. If you ignore this, you choose to ignore it, you do nothing, you stay stuck, then you and your company go stale. Your competitors instead get what could have been yours, and your competitors run laps around you. Now, finally, the third piece, if you implement and ignite in 3 specific ways, which we'll go over in this video, you can unlock 37% more new revenue 24/7. And with one specific milestone you hit, you can double your earnings, not revenue, double your earnings. And again, a little bit later in this video, we're going to quickly go through those revenue and earnings numbers. A few additional benefits for you. These never call in sick. They never quit. They never whine. They never complain. They never ask for days off. They never ask for benefits. They never ask for any payments. They never even ask for any commissions. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about your 24/7 salespersons are online reviews. And specifically, the main platform for this is Google reviews. And again, I'm going to show you the numbers quickly on why Google matters, because Google is getting over 10x the number of reviews on their platform that the other platforms like Yelp, Facebook that you've heard of are getting. At this point of the video, I like to share the timeless principle. We finished the introduction. I'd like to share the timeless principle before we get into the rest of the story and the numbers that I talked with you about, which I am going to do a screen share on my computer and show you some visuals as well. And so the timeless principle I go back to, it comes from the Bible. And it's when the Queen of Sheba went to visit King Solomon. She had heard of his fame and his name in her land and from other people in other lands. And she came to King Solomon's kingdom to test him with riddles, the Bible says. So she was skeptical. She was a cynic. She was a skeptic. She didn't believe because the things other people had said about King Solomon were so great and so outlandish and so wonderful, she didn't believe they could be true. And she had heard a bunch of things about King Solomon's team and how they were his court, the people who worked for him. And Queen of Sheba, she had people who worked for herself in her kingdom. And she knew they complained. They didn't always follow directions. They didn't always dress at the standards she would like. And so she just couldn't believe how King Solomon would have all of this going and have all of this wealth. And once she had talked with him, King Solomon had answered all of her questions. The Bible says her breath was taken away. She had no more spirit in her. So what people had said about him, and in this case, we're talking again about in your business, as it relates to your business, the timeless principle, the online reviews people publish about you are what they're going to take away and are going to produce the profits for you of what people say, similar to what they did for King Solomon. And that's the timeless principle. Before we go into the screen share, those 3 methods that you need to get more reviews. Because if you're not getting between 10% and 20% of your happy customers leaving you a review, you're leaving a lot of money on the table, as we're going to see, revenue and earnings. So those 3 ways are having a reviews culture. And that starts with you as the owner of the leadership from the top down, showing the importance of reviews and having this behavior. Because you may think in your mind, okay, Clint, I know reviews are important. I know this. You have that knowledge in your mind. Are you practicing it? Is it showing in your behavior and the results you're getting? Because if you're not getting between 10% and 20% of your happy customers leaving you reviews, 1 or more of your competitors are. And again, they're running laps around you. So you've got a chance and you deserve to get this fixed. And I'm going to show you a way that is aided by AI that you can choose to use. But if not, a reviews culture, focusing on this, emphasizing it with your team is the first method, the first of the 3 steps to start getting that between 10 and 20% of those happy customers to actually publish your review on Google or to a lesser extent, Facebook and Yelp. The second method I have for you is these physical tools right here. I'll come a little closer to the screen. You can see, I had that wrong. And yeah, the light may make it a little tough, the lights I have, but you can see Google, this little card. It's a sticker that you can use and or just carry by hand. And then also these they're about the size of a business card. You can see they have a QR code that can easily scan. So each of your technicians should have one of these. that they go out with, or your people that meet with your clients. If you're a retail store, you have these, but mostly what I have is a plumbing, electrician, and HVAC business. I work with home services companies and financial services companies, accountants, independent financial advisors, roofers, those types of companies. So when you're meeting with clients, you can have one of these and your people can have one of these. And it's easy for them to scan. You can even have, on this one, you can see your brand name. This is one of my other companies, My Home Electrician, who I'm an equity partner in, and it scans right to our reviews page. So you can have branding. These are simple little tools that can help with your reviews culture and what your team is doing. And finally, that third method, the third method I was going to share with you is AI aided and assisted by AI. So now we're going to pause this second of the video, go into the screen share portion of this video. All right, so we're back for the screen share. You can see I'm Clint Evans of Core Growth Group. And just a quick thing, 4 parts to our agenda here. Get into the significance of online reviews and how they affect the buying decisions of people looking at you or your competitors. And so you can see 97% of people are now reading online reviews, especially about local businesses. Some online e-commerce, the numbers are a little bit different, but I focus on local businesses. And as I said, I have home services companies and working with home services companies and financial services. So you can see the average number of reviews is 39. Obviously, you don't want to be average. And here's what happens when you get to 112. That's the expected number of reviews. And if you look over the far right, 57% of people are less likely to buy from a company that doesn't respond to reviews. And in the next couple segments here, I will share with you, once you get above the average for your industry, what it means for your revenue and your earnings. So let's talk about how badly can negative online reviews hurt your revenue. So you can see over here, just one negative review can drive away 22% of your potential customers. So if you're in a growth mode, you're looking to grow, one negative review, especially if it's in the top 10 or so reviews that it easily shows up, that can hurt you. And the way people search and read through reviews, they usually do scroll down to find that first 1-star or 2-star review, and maybe they scroll down to find the second and the third one. So if you've got 50 reviews, maybe the top 10 are all 5 stars, but people are usually going to scroll to find where are those couple of negative reviews, and they're going to read those. So they still do affect you. And the only thing you can do is keep building new reviews on top of those because they're more recent and in a lot of people's mind more relevant. But that's how bad just one negative review can hurt your revenue. Now, if you get 3 negative reviews, especially in the first 10 reviews, when people look at your Google reviews, they click on more to see the whole list of reviews. 3 negative reviews can deter a whopping 59% of people away from your business and instead to your competitor. Now, four negative reviews, you could lose up to 70%. That's what we talked about at the very first introduction of this video. If you don't do this, you could lose 70% of your new revenue. This is where it's at right here. 4 negative reviews could lose you up to 70% of your new revenue. And finally, 81% of people will not consider a business lower than 3 stars. So your star rating also has a big impact, and it's that quick reference. As you know, people today, they're very quick. You gotta have a quick decision. And so there is a percentage of people when they're considering your business or your competitors, they just look at the star rating. They're not going to read anything. So you definitely want to have an emphasis on your star rating as well. Because if you drop lower than 3 stars, 81% of people you're invisible to. They just say you're out. And we'll get into a little later, but I'll give you a spoiler alert. Between 4.5 to 4.7 star rating is the ideal, where you are maximizing the amount of people choosing you and spending their money with you and revenue and earnings that you get. Oop, that's not what I meant to do. Okay, get rid of that. User error. Okay, so now positive side. How much can positive online reviews boost your revenue? And so you can see 82. So if you get more than 82 reviews, we talked a little bit about industry standards. And again, you can look in your industry, but it's specifically in your local micro area. You probably have a number one competitor, you and them jostling. You might have two or three other competitors that are also in the arena mixing it up with you. And so again, you want to have more reviews than them and more recent reviews for real customers. But here's just as a guideline, more than 82 reviews of your company can generate 54% more revenue. And I'll have a list of citing my sources if you want to look in the description of this video on YouTube. Now, here's the part I talked about. If you hit this one milestone, remember in the introduction of this video, if you hit this one milestone, it can double your earnings, not your revenue, but double your earnings. If you get over 200 reviews, can double your earnings. So that's that first milestone. And if you're a bigger company, you got 1,000 or 2,000 reviews, you know the importance of this. You probably already have systems in place, but this AI assisted could still help you. So 20% is the increase in revenue for every half star increase. Remember, we talked about the negativity. If you drop below 3 stars, how 81% of people won't even look at you. You're invisible. But now, if you increase your star rating just a half star, that could be a 20% increase in your revenue. Amazing. So that star rating, again, for those people that are just looking for the quick hitter, that just look at your star rating, that I don't know if that's 20 or 30% of people. I don't have that specific number, but some percentage of people, they just look at your star rating for a quick decision maker, yes or no. And then 270% by displaying 5-star reviews on your website, you can increase your conversion rates. If people spend their money with you, you can increase that by 270%. Now let's talk about the third case where you got too few online reviews and how much this reduces your revenue. So 59% of people expect a business to have between 20 to 99 reviews before that person is going to feel confident to trust the star rating. That's almost 60%, almost two-thirds of people. So obviously that's a huge and significant number of people. And now you look at this second piece, more reviews than your industry average. If your company has more reviews than the industry average, you're going to get 82% more revenue than your competitors who are below the industry average. So you look around at your number one competitor, the other two or three people that are also in the arena with you, competitors. If you're higher number of reviews and more recent than them, you're getting 82% more revenue, especially if they're below the average for your area. 90% of people read 3 or more reviews. So that's the importance of it. It's not just that first review or second review that's published. People are going to look through the list. They're spending their money, and people, it's easy now. Google makes it easy. Just click on the more button and you can quickly breeze through the reviews in 2 or 3 minutes. And when people are talking about spending hundreds or thousands of dollars with you, they are going to take 3, 4, 5 minutes to read a selection of reviews before they make that decision on you or your competitor. And 88% of people, here's a huge number. Basically, everybody trusts Google reviews as much as a personal recommendation. 20 or 30 years ago, this was not the case, but today, basically everybody, 88%, trusts Google reviews as much as if a friend recommended your company or if a friend recommended to them a competitor company. If they're seeing your reviews and your reviews are better than your competitor, they're going to trust your reviews more than that personal recommendation. So now here are the 3 pillars of online reviews. Now this can help your search rankings. This can help your Google Maps, your Google business profile. It all feeds into that formula, which is why these are hugely important. And we've talked a little bit about it. Real, recent, and relevant. Got to come from real customers. Recency is important. So getting these every day or every week, depending on how big your business is. If you're doing 10 clients a week or 50 clients a week, again, you're going for that between 10% and 20% of your happy clients. So if you got 50 happy clients in a week, you should be getting between 5 and 10 new reviews published to Google every week. And you probably know that's the key. It's easier for people to say they're happy, send you a quick test message, yep, happy, but to actually write 1 or 2 sentences on Google and publish it, that's the next step. And that's where this system, AI-aided system, can help you. Third, obviously relevant. about your business and their client experience with you. Google is king. Like I mentioned, I think in the introduction of this video, look at Google. Over 70% of all reviews online are published to Google. Facebook here, I think about 9%. I've got the actual numbers here in the next picture. 16%, I think, for Yelp. Or actually, I was wrong. So Yelp, the problem with them, they don't even allow you to ask for reviews. And as you know, as a company owner, when people are, you've probably seen this number as well. When people are unhappy or angry with you, had a terrible experience with your company, they tell 13 people on average how bad it was, how terrible the experience was with your company. If people have a great experience with you, most of the time they tell 0 people, maybe 1 person. So when people are having a happy, good experience with you, you got to prod them. You've got to ask them. You got to be active. You got to have the intention and a system in place to get them to publish. So and make it super simple for them. Say, hey, would you write 1 or 2 quick sentences about your experience with me? Because a lot of people think, oh, writing a review, I need a paragraph. They think it's going to have to be an epic poem like Homer's Odyssey or Aeneid. It doesn't have to be anything like that. But people have that in their minds. So make it simple and easy. You can see these 4 sites account for 85% of all online reviews. Obviously, Google, 73% is the biggest. Facebook has 3% of online reviews and Yelp only 6%. That gap's only going to widen because Yelp filters out so many reviews, as you probably have seen and experienced. I've experienced it too in my companies because if you ask a customer, Yelp filters it out. Makes no sense, but that's why Google's running laps around Yelp, and Google is the platform that people trust and that houses 73% of all online reviews. So when you're talking with people out there in the public, people that could be or are your customers and clients, do they have Google Maps or their Google account linked to their phone? Look at this. Overwhelming majority do. Basically, everybody does have their Gmail and their Google account already logged in on their phone. 90% of people. So that's the significance. And again, you may have already known that in your mind, but are you practicing it? Does your behavior, your team's behavior, and then the results, are you getting a lot of recent and real reviews consistently published onto your Google profile? Here's a way we can help jumpstart that. And if you are getting good consistency, to further boost that and further separate you and get more revenue that could have gone to your competitors, but boosted over to you because of your intentional efforts on this. So you can see we can do a single ad, keywords, check-in pages, contact ad, some things you can do with tools on your website. I already showed you those little business card things that you can do and the little stickers, the circle stickers with the QR codes to make it easy for people on their phone when you're on site with the client. You do some API connections, integrations, sending out email reminders. And again, each of these steps is helpful because the more communication points you have, the more likely you are that they'll take that 2 minutes out of their life to go on their phone, type out a sentence or 2 about your company, and click publish onto Google. So here's a little bit about this AI-aided system that I have alluded to at points in this video to get rapid reviews and get you to that 10% to 20% of your happy clients that will actually publish a review for you. As you know, or may not know, not the high percentage, 96% of people, basically everybody, reads their text messages in under 3 minutes of receiving the text message. So you can see here what the system puts out. Hi, it's Jeff with business name. We would appreciate your feedback. I'm not going to read the whole thing here. And then if the person says, oh, I have a question about my invoice, or I have a question about your hours, or I have a question about what happened, something didn't go right. The AI aided system says, oh, thanks for your reply. One of our team members will get in touch with you. And then you get that notification, and anybody on your team that you've connected in will get that notification to reach out to this customer and resolve their situation so that you and your company look like a hero because you quickly provided the solution. I guarantee you, hardly any of your competitors are doing this or having this level of service. This can be a huge differentiator and separator to continue to grow your company and run laps around your competitors. Now, here's one where you've got a non-favorable. Somebody had a bad experience with you. Same thing. Hi, it's with the business. Would you leave us some feedback and from 1 to 5? And the customer types in a 2. And then the system says, hey, I'm sorry your experience wasn't perfect. One of our team members will reach out to you. So that again, if they had a bad experience, they said 1 or 2 or 3, you can get in touch with them. Somebody on your team can get in touch with them to fix the problem, to make amends, to make it better so that they're not bad mouthing you and can actually turn into an advocate and an ambassador for you because you corrected the situation. And in our economy today in the US, so many companies do not correct the situation, they just leave it. So the AI agent is alerted instantly with this message. I'll go back to that screen so you can see customer response may need attention. Karen, so that's the client. Here's her phone number. She replied with 1, get in touch with her. So you would get this text message. So it's simple and easy just through text messages. So you don't have to log in anywhere. You don't have a lot of hassle. Super quick and easy for you as the business owner and easy for your team members because it's happening on your phone through text messages. So again, if it's other than positive, here's the initial feedback flow that we talked about. The system sends out a text message requesting feedback. Customer replies 1 to 3. If it's there, then your agent or your team members alerted as we've set up the system based on your direction, and then you can respond, solve the problem for the customer, and close the loop and create what was a negative experience. You can turn it into at least an okay experience and maybe even a great experience. So now as we go in here, again, this message goes out. Let's say the customer had a great experience. They say 5. Okay, great. You say, yeah, that's great. They have 5. But again, this is just inside of text messages. This is not yet published to Google. So now the system comes in, hey, that's great to hear. And this, again, this is all the AI doing this. Would you mind leaving us a Google review? And here's the link. They simply click on this link. You can see what happens on their phone. Once they click on the link, boom. Since 90% of people, if you'll remember from before, are already logged into their Google account on their phone, when they click on the direct link you sent them, our system sent them through the AI, and we can set all this up, our AI system sends them this direct link. They click on it. It's right here. They're already logged in. They just have to click on the star rating. Then they write 1 or 2 sentences and done. Makes it super simple. And this is how you get between 10% and 20% of people to leave reviews for you. And I'll show you real stories and real examples of these results. Here's the electrician company I'm a part of. I'm an equity partner in, full disclosure, I'm an equity partner in this one. And we had been averaging, before I became an equity partner and bought in, they were getting 9 reviews per year. That was their average. And just the 12 months that I bought in and became an equity partner, we've gotten 24 reviews. Now, again, they're not all, again, full disclosure, not all from this AI assisted system. 3 or 4 of them came from a direct result of our team members having those little business cards, having that focus, and just the simple thing of asking. Customers said they had a great experience here. Thank you for installing our Tesla charger, or thank you for fixing our breaker box. Thank you for replacing our electrical panel. It was great. I didn't think you'd get it done this fast. Okay, great. Glad you had a great experience. Would you mind right now, pull out your phone and write me a quick 1 or 2 sentence review on Google? So 3 or 4 of the reviews came for that, but the rest of the 24 came through this AI aided system. You can see through the AI system, I sent out 184 feedback requests, those text messages. 92 people, 50% replied. And I don't have the exact numbers, but we were getting 5s and 4s. We have not yet gotten a negative feedback because of our team and our culture doing a great job. We have gotten 24 new online reviews. Again, since I bought my equity stake in the company, a 13% rate of feedback requests that initial text message is sent out, 13% of those actually publish the review on Google. Obviously, I would like this to be a little bit higher. We're tweaking our system, but we're within that 10 to 20% range. Now, the next one here is a roofing company. We're also that's using this AI assisted system. You can see 67 feedback requests, 38 replies to that text message from their customers, 12 new online reviews and an 18% review rate. Actually, that was a campaign without the AI. This one was also without the AI, but this type of method. 27 feedback requests, 19 replies to that text message, 7 new reviews, a 26% review rate. You can see this is a smaller set of numbers, but still huge rate and huge boost for this moving company. Now, the third point on our list here, most common reasons, because you probably know as well as I do, it's difficult to get people to actually take the few steps to actually publish, click publish on the review to Google. It takes a little bit to get them to that point. So here are some of the common reasons people don't leave, even though they love their experience with you. Like I said there, that people that had a great experience, and oftentimes they tell 0 people or 1 person because there's some roadblocks to going from I had a great experience with your company to publishing a review on Google. 28% of people say they often leave a review for a local business. 22%, basically 1 out of every 5 people, don't know what to write. They just can't think of it. They don't consider themselves a writer. So that blocks a bunch of people. An additional 32%. So over half of your people that are happy with you combined, these 32%, they say they don't have time. It's too time consuming. They don't know exactly where your review link is. They just don't have time to write the review. So that's over 50% of your people that are happy with you have these 2 excuses why they're not going to write a review. So how can we solve that? Again, we get the initial text message requesting feedback, customer replies 4 or 5. The AI assisted system sends out the direct link they can click onto your phone to your Google page to leave a review. The AI then can create a recommendation. If the person says, yes, I want an AI assisted review, and then the customer can post it. So here's a quick example of what it would look like on their phone. Customer replies but does not click the link. This happens too. You get a bunch of ours, they said 5, and then they either clicked or didn't click the Google link, and some of them published a review, some of them didn't. So here's what the AI aided system will do. I noticed you haven't yet clicked the link to leave us a review. Would you like a suggested review to help you get started? And the person types in why. Good deal. And then the AI system creates 3 sentences here. And then it says, would you like another suggestion? Yes or no. So the person can either copy that and then paste it into the Google review, or if they don't like it, they can request another different AI generated review. So it's fully in the hands of your customer, your client, what they want to write. If they want to do any edits, this can get them started. So it removes the writer's block. It gives them a starting point, a foundation. Obviously, they could paste it verbatim. If they like the wording, if it represents them, they can do it. Here you said, yes, give me another suggestion. The AI system kicks out another one. Outstanding service from start to finish. This agency truly helped me. And then, okay, they can grab this one, paste it again. They can make any edits. It's fully in the customer's control. Nothing is automated here. The customer has to, it's assisted. So the customer has to take it, then paste it, make any edits, and then click publish on Google to publish their review. In the system, as you can see, it is smart enough. Once the person clicks on the review link, the system doesn't keep hammering your customer with text message after text message after text message. Your customer takes the action. It stops sending text messages once the customer clicks the review link. And there's also some settings that we can put in there to limit that, because obviously you don't want to anger your customers, just too many text messages. So you're solving the reasons that 54% of people, over half the people, you've now taken away those 2 excuses that they don't know what to write or they don't have time. You've given them what they could write and then make a few edits to, because as you probably also know, it's far easier to edit than to create, especially with writing. Most people during their daily life don't write a whole lot. It's not part of their job, not part of their daily life. And so I would say a vast, vast, vast majority of people have a much easier time editing than they do creating from scratch. So this solves both the problem of writer's block. It also solves the problem of not having enough time. So here is, again, AI enhanced review generation by Core Growth Group. So a little bit of, are people okay with AI? Do people still fear it? Do they suspect it? Are they uneasy about it? Do they have a fear around using it? Is this real? Is it legitimate? So here's a few other numbers for you. 71% of people need help. There's an opportunity to leverage AI enhancement to help your companies or help your customers leave their reviews. 48% of people said they would use AI if it made their customer experience more seamless, consistent, relevant. If it made their experience better, people want better. So almost half of people already, at the time of this video I'm filming in May of 2025, almost 50% of people are already comfortable with AI, ready to use it. If it helps them, if it makes their experience better with your company, they're absolutely on board with it. And 80% of experts agree in the marketing industry that these companies and marketing people inside of companies plan to integrate some form of AI to help their marketing activities and boost the revenues for the company. Here's a little bit about trust. Do people trust AI to help them write their review? You can see about 42% absolutely trust AI to help them get started with their review. About 45% say they may use it. So you've got a little over 80% that are saying, yeah, I'm willing, I'm open to it. And then you've got about 15% saying, heck no, no way, I'm not going to do it. But again, the vast overwhelming majority are willing and open to trust AI to help them write their review. So let's see. Would you trust a review again if you knew that AI helps? So on the other side, people that are searching Google, would they trust a review if they knew the reviews had started with AI and then the person used it or made a few edits and then published it? And you can see, again, almost 50% say, yes, I'll trust those reviews because the customer had to grab those words. The customer had to paste it into Google and the customer had to push publish. They made their edits. They did whatever they do. Almost half of people say, yes, I'll trust it. Under 20% of people, about 18%, 19% say, no, they won't trust it. And then about 33% are undecided as of yet. And so I suspect the more and more you see AI in the news, the more and more people are going to trust it and say it's a part of life. I suspect the number that goes to yes will probably go to about 80%. And there's always going to be those holdouts, 10, 15, 20% that say they're not going to trust it no matter what. But this is where things are headed. Here's a huge thing. 71% of your customers that are happy with you that you'd want to leave a review say they may leave a review if you asked them to, you had a way to ask them to, made it easy and or helped them to write that review. It's a huge boost to get more reviews because you're helping them and you're making it easy for them. Again, making the experience better for your customers and clients. Now, finally, let's finish up with how to overcome the irrelevant reviews or your poor 1-star and 2-star reviews. You got to respond. You got to reply. As a business owner, I understand though. We got a lot on our plate, schedules fully booked. When am I going to have time now to add one more thing to my plate to respond to reviews? And also, do you trust somebody on your team to respond to reviews? That's a big responsibility. Got to have a lot of trust in somebody that you may not have. So this system also helps you reduce that time, make it easier for you to respond to those reviews because it is a huge boost when you reply. It shows new potential customers and the client that left the review that you care enough. You read it, you took the time, you replied. And Google also expects it and rewards you with sending you further calls, boosting your Google Maps listing above your competitors. Again, this is another factor that helps boost you higher, get more customers, more revenue, more profits. You can see here it's a pretty epidemic problem. Only about 1 out of every 4 business owners responds to any customer reviews. This is not saying they respond to 100% customer reviews. This is just saying they've replied to some of their reviews that have been published. And again, this is a big factor that shows people you care. And it also is a factor in Google's formula to send you more people, send you more phone calls. So here's how it works with our AI aided system we're talking about here. You get a new online review, you and or somebody you designate on your team is alerted, hey, you got a new review here. The AI, again, this happens to be a text message on your phone. That's where the alert happens. Super simple. And then again, you can say, yes, I'd like the AI to generate me a recommended response. And then again, you can copy that, make edits, and post it, or you can copy it verbatim and post it. Still good. It's going to be unique content. And you have full control, full command on what words you used and paste it in there and click publish. So do businesses trust AI to help them respond? We did some surveys and did some other research of business owners. Would you trust AI to help you draft a response to customer reviews? Again, a large majority, about 56, 57% said yes. Another 22, 23% were undecided. Again, I think a bunch of those are going to come over to the fence in the next year or two or three. As AI continues to grow and build and show up in the media and become more and more part of our daily lives and more applications, I think about half or more of those people are going to bump into the yes category, and the other half will bump into the no category. But the business owners that don't trust AI and may not ever, you're looking at about 18%. But the beauty of this AI aided system is it makes it easy for you to reply to all of your customer reviews. And that should be the goal, to reply to 100%. I know that sounds like a big goal, a big idea. It's going to take a lot of time. But with this assisted AI assisted system, you can do it. It can be done. So here you can see a review of reply, and this can all come up on your phone. You can see what it says here. I won't read everything, but basically, thank you for the kind words. We love providing top-notch service. And then, of course, you can add a little bit. You can make it personalized to Jay Dunbar here in this example that wrote the review so that it comes from you, comes from your heart. And here we talk a little bit about, again, leveraging AI. Is your business going to do this, or is your main competitor probably already doing this? And the other two or three competitors that are in the arena fighting for the same demand, same customers that you're fighting for, are they doing this already or not? And if even if not, do you want to be left behind? Because can you guarantee over the next year or two or three that your main competitor and your other two or three competitors also in the arena that are your big threats, can you guarantee that they're not going to do anything with AI in their companies? So here, 70% have a highly favorable amount of US based small business owners are eager and willing to leverage AI enhancement when replying to customer reviews. Over 70% of your peers are already doing this, your business owners, and that includes your main competitors. About 30% are not willing to leverage AI, and those are likely businesses are going to fall further and further behind over the next 3 to 5 years and may even have their revenue hurt so much that they go out of business. So, do you want to be in that category, getting hurt, and potentially go out of business? Or do you want to stay in 70% of your peers are already willing to leverage AI? Do you think you need to be in that group, or are you going to get left behind? So here's a recommended response from the AI assisted system. You get the text message, you got a new Google review, and it tells you what words your customer used. So you can see what they said. Would you like the AI system to recommend a response? You click yes or type in yes, text message, goes into the system. It'll automatically text you back. Here's a potential reply you could use. And it's based on the review sentiment keywords, uses a lot of factors to make it relevant reply to what your customer said. So it's not just random stuff. Again, it does an appropriate response based on the rating, the star rating, and the sentiment that your client or your customer published. And again, you can choose, if you don't like the first response the AI system sent, you can click the letter Y, text that back, and it'll send you another recommended response. So all this does, again, it shows you care. It closes the loop with your customer, with your client, and it creates more activity, more trust with people from your Google profile. It shows other people reading your reviews that you reply and that you care. And it's also, again, a big signal to Google that your company is on the ball and that Google should recommend you more, rank you higher in the search results, send you more people your way because you're a trusted company that cares about your people. Because that's all Google cares about is they care about their searchers' experience. People that come to Google, that's who Google cares about. When they're providing search results, they want to provide the best possible experience to their searchers. So those searchers then come back for other searches to Google instead of one of Google's competitors. So you can be a part of that ecosystem and get Google to send you way more. Here's a little bit if you want to read this on the video and expand your screen. I figure you might be watching this on your mobile phone, but if you want to get onto your laptop or desktop, you can read this or just search this on Google. Google search guidance about AI generated content. Basically, Google rewards high quality content no matter what source, no matter how it is generated, no matter how it's produced, no matter how it's created. If you do the expertise, EEAT is Google's little initials. Expertise, experience, authoritativeness, trustworthiness. You have those four factors, you're going to do well in Google, no matter the source that initially created the content or the foundation of the content that you then edited and published. If it has those four factors, again, expertise, experience, authoritativeness, trustworthiness, Google's going to reward that content no matter where it originally was created. As you may or may not know, the 1 stars, this is like getting an F grade in school. You want to reply and handle these as quick as possible, potentially as quick as you can. Get on the phone with this customer, see if you can resolve the problem and get them to retract that 1 star review, remove and delete it. Just as a quick thing here, it takes seven new 5 star reviews to offset a single 1 star review. So if you're looking to maintain a 4.5 star rating, remember when we talked about that 4.5 to 4.7 star rating, that is the absolute sweet spot for your business to maximize your revenue. If you get a 1 star review, it knocks you down so far, you've got to get 7 new 5 star reviews just to get back to your 4.5 star rating. So 1 star reviews hurt a lot because they drag your star rating down quickly. So how do you overcome these? And again, would you want 5,000 prospects, people considering your business or your competitors, to see a 1 star review about you and you didn't reply? There's no reply to it, no nothing. Would you want your people to see that? I know for my businesses, I do not. One thing you can do is report false 1 star reviews. If you see that maybe it's somebody's name you don't recognize, they're not a customer, they're not a client of you, report it as a false 1 star review. Maybe it was your competitor, maybe your competitor called one of their family members, friends, parents, who knows. But a bunch of these can get removed if you report them as false. Now make sure they are false. And you can see this message from Google: a review has been removed from your business profile. This does happen. Reviews do get removed, especially if they're reported false, and Google's algorithm can see, okay, this was false. On this one particular company, over 3 dozen false reviews were removed from their public Google business profile. So that was a huge win. And if you'd like a live walkthrough, you can go to coregrowthgroup.com/reviews. Me or somebody on my team can show you this AI assisted system, give you a live walkthrough, see what we're doing, and even do a test where you can see the text messages and experience it for yourself to see if this would be a solution you would like us to implement in your company to help you get to those growth goals you have for your company. A few key takeaways as we're about to wrap this video from this AI assisted and AI aided system. Online reviews are highly important. You saw the numbers. You can refer back if you're not yet convinced. But 80, 90%, 97% of people are looking at online reviews about online businesses. Overwhelming majority. Basically, as a company owner, you've got to be here. You've got to have intention. You've got to have a system. You got to have a reviews-based culture for you and your team. You can use those physical tools. And then you've got to have some online system. This AI-aided or assisted system can be huge, or some online system elsewhere that can help you get more reviews and get 10% to 20% of your happy clients and customers actually publishing a review on Google. You can see here the feedback request process needs to be simple. Looks like I got a typo on here. Needs to be simple and easy, but you get the idea. You got to make it simple and easy for your customers, for people, or they're absolutely not. They're already not doing it. So if you make it simple and easy, you can get 10 to 20%. Those are the numbers across various industries that will do it. Will actually take 2 or 3 minutes out of their life to write one or two sentences about you to help you out because you created a great experience for that person. Customers want to leave a review and they are willing to accept help from AI. We've seen the numbers that show that. And then your peers, and hopefully yourself. Business owners trust and are willing to leverage AI in their replies to customer reviews because as a business owner, it reduces the amount of time you have to look and reduces the hassle because you don't have to go to somewhere and log in, remember all that. You're already logged in on your phone. Just get the text messages. Here's a recommended response. Click over to the link, easily put in the reply, make an edit or two, and then publish. All right, so just here's a little bit about the system. I'm not going to go too deep into this, but we make it simple for you to start, to confirm. Can even do a test run to get 20 feedback responses for you to see how the system works. So if you'd like that demo, again, you can go to coregrowthgroup.com/reviews, schedule a demo. We can take you through the system and see how it could help you get more reviews, more recent, get that consistency, real, recent, and relevant reviews, the consistency you need day by day, week by week, having fresh reviews coming into your business from happy clients. Thank you for joining me on this video. I look forward to seeing your results. And if you get great results, post a comment in this video of the results you've gotten by telling your team, creating that reviews culture, just putting more intention and actually getting the behavior of you and your team going on the emphasis and the importance of Google reviews.